Welcome everybody to the next episode of the Cannabis Review. I'm delighted to be joined on this episode by Dr. Lutz Harms, who's a Senior Director at GW Pharma in Germany. How are you keeping this morning, Lutz?
I'm very well, thank you very much, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much. It's a Friday. We've had a bit of snow here in Dublin, so all is good in my world. Thank
Winter
you very much.
started.
Pardon?
Winter has started.
It surely has, yeah. I think the Christmas feeling's starting to come around now. So thank you very much for taking your time to do this. I know you're a very busy man, and hopefully we get to bestow some information on the audience. Can you maybe give everybody a quick little brief overview of how you ended up at GW Pharma as their first employee and your position in the industry?
Yeah, happy to do that. I'm a pharmacist and pharmacologist by education. And after my PhD, I started my business life in big pharma for more than 20 years. And then in 2017, I joined GW to launch the first cannabis-derived anti-epileptic drug in rare childhood epilepsies. So that's where I joined GW then.
Very interesting. So the topic of this episode is what are orphan drug trials? Can you maybe give everybody an overview of what is an orphan drug trial and why are they important in the industry?
Sure. Orphan drug trials, that's a clinical study in a rare disease. A rare disease is defined less than 5 people affected out of 10,000. So we are talking really few patients here that are suffering from really sometimes very serious diseases with no effective treatment here. So in this case, you start the clinical study to prove the safety and efficacy in this rare disease. In some cases, these are a few weeks only for this study, and sometimes in some cases it's taking you even a couple of months in order to start and then finish the study. At the end of this trial, then usually you publish the results of the study in a peer-reviewed journal. So this is all about a orphan drug trial.
Okay, very interesting. So this seems to be one of the avenues that for cannabinoid-derived pharmaceutical products that orphan drug trials are maybe one of the best avenues for biotechnology and technology companies to be taken. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm convinced that that's the way to go. You have to prove, again, safety and efficacy. That's important for patients and their families of anything that will become a reimbursed drug in the end for the sake of these patients.
Yeah, and I suppose the objective is to make evidence-based medicines, and the evidence needs to come from trials.
Absolutely correct. I just can echo what you just said. It's all about the evidence-based medicine, and for this you need the data in proven, statistically proven, published, peer-reviewed, randomized trials. So there's nothing else than that.
Okay, next topic I wanted to jump onto was launching Epidyolex. A lot of patients and a lot of consumers out there, I don't think, would have a complete understanding or nuanced overview of how a product like Epidyolex is created. When it comes to the launch of Epidyolex, what was the exact process? What's the kind of time frame that you guys would have been working under?
Yeah, so this is basically, once you have started an orphan drug trial, it has been successful and published, then you go into the next phase to launch a drug. And this is then all about, you bring these studies to the regulators. In the US, it's the FDA. In Europe, it's the EMA. And you compile all your data you have. In our case, with Epidyolex, It has been 5 successful studies to launch this product in 2 rare childhood epilepsies. All 5 were successful and showed exactly the same safety and efficacy. So we put everything together and brought it then in Europe to the EMA, and again, as I said, in the US to the FDA. And this they take from the moment you submit your data until they give you their assessment. It takes you 1 year, roughly, depending on the outcome and depending on the results you can offer. Once we did that in Europe, to say that we did that in Europe in 2018, and then 1 year later we received the approval in September to launch this drug in Europe. So that is really the milestone for any drug to be available for patients in Europe.
Yeah, and it seems to be very successful so far, and everybody understands or knows about the Jazz Pharmaceuticals purchase of GW. When it came to the research and development of Epidyolex, was that a decade-long R&D process? Because if I'm not mistaken, Epidyolex is derived from a strain of hemp that has a high potency of CBD. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, Epidyolex is a purified cannabidiol drug, so it's THC free. This is important to note because many people might combine THC, CBD, cannabis, all mix everything together. So this is really pure cannabidiol, grown in the UK, purified in the UK, and manufactured in the UK. So that's true, exactly. It has been the second drug out of the GW research. The first one has been Sativex, a mixture of 50-50 mixture of THC and CBD, cannabidiol, for the treatment of specific symptoms in MS.
And when it comes to, the future, obviously the blends and formulations of getting the rare cannabinoids and terpenes and having perfect blends and creating products out of that is the objective in the future. Do you see the biosynthetic companies playing a big part in that role? Because obviously with plant matter, you can't isolate a specific amount of the cannabinoids that it's going to have to be synthesized or fermented in some way in a bioreactor.
You're tipping on a critical topic, maybe for paving the path in the future for cannabis industry. I'm sure that there is much more to investigate and research and find into the various kinds of cannabinoids, and indeed, the quicker you are to isolate different molecules, the quicker you can dive a bit deeper into the effect of these different molecules, and for the sake of patients in many other diseases to come.
Yes, very true, very true. So last topic I'm going to jump onto before I let you go, I know you're a very busy man, is market access requirements. I've noticed on my research that you guys in Germany have a process called the AMNOG process. Can you maybe give everybody an overview? What is that process, and does every country have their own version of that, or is it something unique to Germany?
Yeah, you're closing the journey of a drug, basically, in all countries after the studies and after the approval in Europe. You need obviously a price in your market. The process is looking different country by country, and in Germany we have the so-called AMNOG process, which takes roughly 1 year, and it's a 2-step process, if you like, and it starts with a new dossier you have to prepare based on your data. And you submit this dossier to the Federal Joint Committee, and they give you an early benefit assessment, a benefit assessment that that brings your drug a little bit into comparison and contacts with existing drugs on the market. Not only in terms of data, but more so also in terms of price. So, and based on this assessment, based on the dossier that you have prepared, you get one of a 5-scale benefit, and with this benefit assessment, you step into the second phase, and the second phase is a discussion and a negotiation with the sick funds in Germany, and depending on the scale you get, on the rating you get, you have the chance to discuss and negotiate a price that is finally reimbursed then in the market. And with this, you have not only an approved drug, but also a reimbursed price to make the product available in the market. It is important to note in Germany, that's still an exception in Germany. The day one after the approval, you can bring this drug to patients. You can bring this drug on the market. However, the price is negotiated afterwards, and then you get the full reimbursement. And that's the third important step to be mentioned and to be kept in mind.
Very interesting. And to your knowledge, does every country around the world have their own process, like the AMNOG process that you have in Germany?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. UK has the famous NICE process. France has a different one, and Italy comes again different. So these are many different kinds of setting the reimbursed price depending on the country.
Very good. Well, it's been great talking to you. One question before I let you go. In terms of the German recreational market, from a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that the government are going to be able to actually bring a recreational market to fruition?
Okay. I go on 5, giving me a bit space up and having a bit space down. I think devil is in the detail here. The willingness is there to do that. I think here really the question comes about the source of delivery, the quality, and in the end, how strongly they want to keep an eye on quality, batch to batch consistency, and we discussed it earlier, on data.
Yeah, very true. It seems to be a lot of hurdles ahead, and for the good of the European industry, hopefully Germany can be the leading way. But we saw Czech Republic bring out a set of rules there the other day, so I think hopefully we've got an interesting industry ahead for the next 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely.
It's been amazing talking to you, Lutz. Thank you very much. Hopefully we get to chat again in the near future and we can get an update from everything that you're up to. But for now, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.